My name is Christine, and welcome once again to Crafting with Christine. Today I'm going to be doing a craft that is also from Paint Party LI, MD Design Studios, and this time we're going to be doing a painted wood sign. I'm kind of excited about this one because my son's name is Storm, and I got one that has Storm in the artwork, so I'm excited to make it and be able to put it in his room. So first, let's go ahead and see what we have in our kit. Most important, directions on what to do. We have our design, and you probably can't see it too well in the camera, but basically it's going to be a design that we put on top of our wood and then peel back so we can use it as a stencil. Our wood sign itself. We have little makeup sponges that we're going to be using for the paint when we actually get to the stencil part. Just going to go ahead and pull these apart. All of our individual paint. Go ahead and line these up. We have some paintbrushes. We've got a big guy and one that's a little more precise. We have some hardware for mounting it onto the wall later. I'm assuming this is going to be for smoothing down the stencil onto the wood. It's kind of like a plastic card. And information on where to get kit. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is doing the craft and going through the instructions, reading out what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Some of these may take a little bit of time, so we might fast forward. There's a couple of other things that were noted in the instructions that you should have handy. So I have some paper towels, glass of water, tweezers, and a blow dryer. It's not really essential necessarily that you have the blow dryer because you could always let something air dry, but in the interests of being able to do this demonstration, I'm going to be blow drying the paint. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, so the first step here is we're going to wet our paintbrush and dip into a small amount of paint. Do a thin watery wash of paint on the entire piece of wood. So this is really going to be our background color. I'm just going to put our stencil aside because we're not at that point yet. Depending on the piece of wood you have and the size, mine is like slightly curved on one side, so I have to make a decision about what side I really want to be the front. You might also make that decision based on if there's knots on one side or not. So I think I'm going to make this the side that I'm going to work from, and we're going to do a background color over the whole thing. Now when she said to do a thin watery wash, I'm not going to be too precise with it, so I'm going to use our big brush. I have my water and choosing a background color. Now when I bought the kit, it did have certain colors already in different parts of the design. But you could change it up. You could use any of the colors provided, or if you have your own paints at home too, you can make a decision. I think I'm going to use the black because I kind of want to make it like a gray background. It's probably also a good idea to keep your paper towels handy for if you tend to get paint everywhere like me. So I'm going to dip in the water first, then dip in the paint. I'm just going to kind of liberally apply it not trying to get it too thick. If I think it's getting too thick, I'm actually just going to add more water. Now the other thing that I'm going to do, because this is going to go up on my wall, and I don't want to see the wood on the sides, I'm also going to paint the sides the same way. Okay. Just going to go over a couple places where I think it could use a little bit more paint, more color. Alright, and I think we're good. It's nice, you can still see the grain of the wood underneath, so you can tell that when it dries, it's almost going to look just like, you know, color's been added to the wood instead of trying to get a matte layer of paint over it. Alright. Now we're going to blow dry the wood because we want to make sure it's 100% dry before the next step. Blow dry about 1 to 2 minutes per the instructions. The other thing, if you don't have a blow dryer on hand or you don't like the one you have, you could always just let it air dry, but you probably want to let it air dry then a significant amount of time. It should be completely dry so that when we get to the stencil step, it won't take off any of the paint, I'm assuming. Okay, looks like we're dry. The nice part about that was it was very easy to tell. You could kind of see like the puddles of paint drying up as you went, so it's very easy to tell when you're done with that step. I do have paint on my hands though, so I'm just going to pick that up. Probably from the side. I didn't bother to dry the side for now because we are going to be doing the design on the top, and eventually that will dry. Okay. Alright. So the next step is to prep the stencil. Use the plastic card provided to run across both sides of the stencil, pressing firmly as you rub across it. And then we're going to peel it. Okay. So I have my stencil here. So I'm assuming at this point I would want to try to position it. It's a little bit bigger than my actual piece of wood, but that's fine because remember it's just the design that we really want to place on there. Get it as centered as I can just so I know where I'm going to put it. Run across both sides of this. So I think at this point we're just smoothing out the wrinkles so that when we get to the point where we're going to put it on, everything's going to be nice and even. Okay, and I did say to do both sides. And you could also do this on another solid surface. Right, now we're going to peel the stencil. Leave grid side up and peel backing off. Must see blue. Discard blue paper, making sure no white stencil is stuck to it. Hopefully that will make sense as you do it. So what I'm actually supposed to be peeling, this is a good learning experience, is not the paper off of the front, but between the white and the backing, there's a place where you can peel it. So I just kind of got in there with my fingernails. So that's why the directions were saying must see blue, because immediately in the background you'll see that it's blue. So if I have my grid side up, I'm going to peel here. Discard blue paper, making sure no white stencil is stuck to it. So you just want to make sure your design is intact as you go. Alright, most of my design came out properly, but you'll see I have a little bit stuck here. That's the inside of a D, so I can see why that got stuck. Just gonna see if I can kind of unpeel that myself and put it back where it's supposed to go. Discard blue paper. Stick the stencil, flip it over, sticky side down. It is sticky on this side right here. Rub it onto the wood, pressing firmly using the card provided. Then slowly roll back and peel off the top masking tape layer. Alright, so this is where we commit to our design. Right, just want to make sure that I center it over my wood. Kind of gently place and then start from the center. Okay. Moment of truth. See if we can get the top layer off. Definitely go slow because especially if you have small letters like this, you want to make sure that the insides don't come off. Woohoo! All right. Okay. Time to paint. No more paintbrushes. We're going to be using the makeup sponges provided. We're going to dab a makeup sponge in the paint and then remove most of the paint by wiping on the side of the cup. Alright, so we don't want to use a lot of paint. Gently dab the paint across the stencil. Do not rub or smear it on. One sheer coat at a time. Build them up slowly until you are satisfied with the paint, allowing to dry 1 minute between coats. Okay. Alright, so I have a rainbow design, so I'm going to be using a lot of different colors. Depending on the design that you have, you might just be using a few colors or even maybe just one color, so that might make it go a little bit faster. I am making the decision to do all of the writing is going to be in white. I'm going to do my clouds in white, and then I'm going to have my rainbow colors. So maybe I'll just start with the white. And I guess it doesn't really matter what part of the sponge you use, but I'm going to use the skinny edge. So I'm going to dab it in my paint, and like the instructions said, just rub some off so it's not super thick. And then Alright, so that's my first layer of the white paint. I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side. Start working on my rainbow. Now this rainbow has 5 colors. I do have 4 more sponges. Okay, so what I'm probably going to do is just use the alternate side of one of the sponges to complete it. If you do go over the lines with any of these colors, you probably want to wait for the other color to dry before you go ahead and paint over it with the other color. Otherwise, you're just going to be mixing. Okay, so now I've done my first layer of paint. You can tell the sponge is definitely leaving like a certain aesthetic to it. I love the effect on the clouds personally. I think it looks really great. I don't think my paint is really dry yet. It's like it's kind of dry, but it's still a little sticky tacky. So before I do another layer, I'm just going to give this some time to dry. Another thing you could do is use the hairdryer if you have it. But I'm just going to give this some time to kind of settle, and then I'll be back and I will do another coat. Okay, welcome back. So this is a little bit later. I let it dry, but I also cheated and I put an extra coat of paint on in between so that you wouldn't have to sit and watch me adding another coat of paint. So now everything appears dry. I have 2 coats of paint, which seems to be enough. It is on a darker piece of wood because I did use black to go over my base. So it did take that extra layer of paint to make it look like there was enough color there for my rainbow. My clouds look good. I think my writing is gonna look good. So I think I'm set. So now we can move on to the next step. So we're going to peel the stencil off. It's okay if the stencil rips as you go, that's normal. Go back with tweezers or fingernail to pick out parts of the stencil inside the letters. So that's why I have tweezers. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to peel this off. You can already kind of see where inside the letters it's not necessarily going to come right off, so I might need to go back. So I do have a few little pieces of stencil that are still left in my letters, like especially if you have an O or an A or an E. So I'm just going to go in with my tweezers and try to get those pieces out. Or maybe even my fingernail might be easier. Okay, so now I have peeled off all of the pieces. At this point, if I wanted to actually get it ready to mount on my wall, I did get mounting hardware as well. I'm going to skip that step for now. I'll let my husband do that. So yeah, so then that's it. It's hang on to the background colors in case you need to do touch-ups. So I would go ahead and cap all of these, and then we're done. I'll show you my finished product. I'm very excited about this. I think it actually came out quite nice. The colors are clear, everything looks very nice and crisp because of the template. So yeah, kind of excited about this one. I might have to do another sign. So if you're interested in getting a kit, this is again a kit that I got it home delivery through Paint Party Long Island by MD Design Studios. We'll put a link to that in the post and in the comments. There's tons of designs that they have available through there, but also if you have a Cricut at your house, which is a machine that can print out templates like that, you can also print your own template and try to do something like this. You just need all the other supplies in terms of paint and wood. So I believe it comes in different sizes, there's different options, and tons of different things that you could do with this. So I have to say, you know, I had fun. And again, I'm not a super crafty person, so this is great to have something I can actually hang on my wall. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. If this is a project that you'd like to see us do at the library again, once we're able to do in-person classes, please let us know. Also, we're going to be trying to make arrangements for the period when we are open but not yet offering in-person classes to have classes that we offer by remote instruction but that you can pick up a kit for at the library. So if this is something that you'd be interested in for that, let us know that as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.